What's up guys, and welcome to the Marathon Experience. My name is Jeremy and today is day 28 of the 100 days RunStreak challenge. We are trying to answer today a question that I've been asking myself a lot, which is how long does it take to create a running habit? Let's go! I have asked myself this question a lot, especially since I'm doing those run streaks. I always wonder, but how long does it take for me to this challenge to become a habit? So I started to look into the literature and what research has done in this topic, and I found this article in the European Journal of Psychology published in 2009, and the results are really interesting, honestly. So we're gonna dive in and try to answer this question with some facts. The study had 96 students all participating in this habit study with a duration of 12 weeks. Each student was choosing one habit to implement, and it has to be a daily habit. And they choose all personally those habits. It was not imposed to them. Which means that the 96 people in this study basically came with the idea of learning a new habit or creating a new habit. As an example, some people wanted to drink more, so they put as an habit to always drink a glass of water with each meal in the day. Some people wanted to eat more fruit, so they put as their habit to eat a piece of fruit for every meal. Some people came with the idea of starting to implement a little bit of exercise before dinner every single day, which kind of fits into the category of a run streak. Although for some people it was only about walking 15 minutes before dinner. But still, it kind of counts. And anyway, the idea here is to get a big picture on how do you start creating habits and how do you feel that something has become a habit for you. So they operated the study with small reminders in order to remind themselves to perform this action. And after, they were doing a self-evaluation on this, trying to answer or not the question if this was becoming a habit that they would do automatically or if they would still need the reminder every time. In order to evaluate it, they used a scale called the SRHI, the Self-Report Habit Index. It seems to be quite a complicated scale, and to be fair, I don't understand 100% of how this scale is working, but there is basically 12 items with they choose only 7 of them in order to quantify if those little habits were becoming automatic to them or if they were not. By the way, this scale is also very much used for drug addiction or any dependencies that become something automatic also. That's why you see a lot of studies on addiction using the SRHI scale. So at the end of every day, they could evaluate themselves with all those items in the scale we mentioned, and this would give them a score of automaticity, how much this habit was becoming automatic for them. So now that you know a little bit about this study, let's talk about the 2 main results that this study gave and that I think are really interesting. The first one, and it's because we need to have a number at the end, the average time that it took for people to become automatic, which is evaluated as more than 90% of the automatically scale, was a total of 66 days. That's also an average on all of the students in the study. But that's rather interesting to feel that if you're doing something every day for 66 days, there are high chances that you're actually gonna stick to it afterward. But that's a big time. I mean, that's more than 2 months doing something repeatedly every single day. This is something that I also mentioned in a previous video where I was trying to give you some tips in order to succeed in a run streak. My point was that you should aim at a low distance that you master, but you should try to aim at very high expectation in terms of duration of your run streak. That's why I think running a run streak of a week or 10 days, it's always good. Don't get me wrong, it's always good to run. But it doesn't give you as much efficiency, I would say. It doesn't give you all the automatism and all the habits and the routine aspect that a run streak that is gonna last like 50 or 66 days or maybe 100 or more will give you. Just as a quick disclaimer, I'm not saying that if you run for 66 days then it's gonna become automatic and you're never gonna have any issue to run whatsoever. Obviously, going out for a run will always require motivation. It's always hard to go out when it's raining or when you have a hard day and you only want to relax, and that's probably not going to change. It's always going to be at least a little bit harder. But what this study shows well is that if you persevere for the first 66 days, there are very high chances that you're going to be able to summon this motivation and perform the action that you wanted to do. That also means that if you're trying to create a habit for yourself and it's really hard after 10 days or 20 days, this study would show you that you just have to persevere and try to reach 66 days or more in order to create this as a real habit. The second result that I think was really interesting, and that's something I would really not have bet on at all, is that they've shown that the people who have created the habits the faster, they were not impacted by the fact that once they missed their action, they forgot to do their action one day and then they just started again on the next day, and automatically the score didn't get impacted by it. Which tends to say that basically even if you're going through a run streak and one day, let's say it's day 35, you miss one day, if you keep on going on day 36 and 7, etc., etc., you might be able to create this habit in 66 days like everyone else. I really thought in the beginning that if you would miss one day, like for me, I feel like I would probably be like super sad about breaking this run streak, and then I would have to start counting again, and that would probably act negatively on my motivation and tend to make this run less of a habit for me. But this study seems to show that even though you're missing one time, you could still create a habit if you persevere longer. So that's also an encouragement. If you had one problem one time where you really couldn't go for a run, I don't advocate for that, of course. I would still try to push you to always go for this run. But if at some point you had not to run, it would not impact your capability to develop some habits out of this. Pretty cool stuff, huh? I hope you liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Maybe share in the comments if you have managed to develop the habits. Let me know also if this kind of video is something that interests you and if I should do more of these. Try to decrypt some studies around either running or exercise or health in general. And don't forget to share this video also to your friend if you think that this video could bring them some value. Regarding the RunStreak update, this morning my weight was just above 80 kilograms. Hasn't moved much in the last 4 or 5 days, which I'm not so happy about, but sometimes it is what it is. I just have to wait out of this plateau and keep on losing some weight. On the run side, today we ran with Margot our 10K. We did our classic loop, but we actually used a little running hack, as I call them. It's one that I explained in yesterday's video, so if you want to go and watch it, it's a pretty cool way to find a new route basically and change a little bit the scenery, even if you want to achieve your daily run every single day. That's it, guys. I hope you liked it. Again, if you want to be part of the journey and receive a notification every time a new video comes out, go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification button, and I'll see you tomorrow.